Yo, what's up, guys? CastnBlast back, and I am here with some Witch Slap. We went over it once before and got some comments like, hey, Cass, you didn't seem that excited on this. It's not boring. I don't know if I threw the wrong impression, guys. Don't get me wrong. I do love different attacks. I do a lot of different attacks. I could have been possibly fully exhausted. I remember that day I did record like 8 videos because I was going on vacation, wanting to get them set up in order. But I want to go over some of the finer details. I'm getting a lot of questions on it still, and I've seen some failures. So I went back and looked at what makes the people that are successful on Witch Slap. It's not just a spam attack. It can look almost too easy at the same time, but there are finer details on where to attack a base, what base to choose, and how to get through it, right? Higher level heroes are always going to help you on this attack because you got to punch some power in the middle. As this base is kind of oblong, it's rectangle, more long this way, pretty thin on the inside. You're going to want to walk either this direction or this direction. And with Witch Slap, you don't have to take care of the heroes first. You absolutely don't, which is what's really nice with it. And you're bringing jumps. This base, there's a great jump spot there. Once your troops get here, if they break through a wall, you can either jump here or save your jump. But you got a lot of options, and we're going to watch some replays and talk about why they are successful. Number one, level 30 heroes, they don't hurt. But you can see he comes in with his witches and lets them start building up skellies and then lets them take a little damage, and he throws in the healers behind, right? So he's wanting to cut his funnels pretty much at the same order and draw some fire and then start cutting on the inside. He gets his golem, because you're only using one on this, out in front, draws some fire, and he's only putting a few wizards down just to clean those buildings, right? So not your typical run and gun punch into the base. You want to keep things at the same level, and sometimes I see people not do that. One troop will get ahead of the other. Either these get in here while your witches are still out there, or your witches get way down here and you start your heroes. You're going to have a lot of failures that way. So if you can kind of keep everything at the same level, guys, you'll see a lot more success with this. And you'll watch the heroes enter the base. He made sure the golem got out front, right? Made sure the golem got out front, took damage, and then set his heroes and then bowlers. If you jam them and rage them all in the base right away, like I've done, they're going to simply get crushed by the same sort of splash, and you're just going to have problems, guys. You got to make sure you're doing things in the right order, the right way. So throws down the poison. It's air troops, so his queen's going to take care of that. And you can see still the witches and his troops, except now these are rage, so there's a golem out here. But they're at the same level in the base. And you have to do that. I mean, if you're not doing that, you're going to run into trouble. And it's simply the feel of it. I talk about doing an attack over and over again until it becomes second nature. If you're used to rushing in your heroes and your kill squad and you're watching them get blown up over and over and over again, fizzle out in the beginning of attack, and then it's just up to your witches getting picked off one by one, you need to think, well, what am I doing that's wrong? Why am I not seeing some sort of success? So I'm not talking like blind success where you just fall into a win. You can see the troops are moving correctly or they're not. Maybe take a second, relax a little bit. It's something I don't do a lot either, but just breathe, relax, trust the attack, and then practice it. You're not going to trust an attack and you're not going to feel comfortable until you practice over and over and over and over again. And his troops ended up attacking from this side, and in the middle, the last building all at the same time. That's when you know you did it exactly correct. You came down the lanes, all three of them, at the same time, spreading out the damage and just ripping and picking through the base. And that's the correct method. And that's what I see makes this attack and the people that use it so successful. You know, I've had some failures with it. I've seen a lot of success with it. You got to make sure you're doing it correctly. So I added this one on as well. It's just a different shape base. You don't have that oblong or rectangle type of entrance. So, and he's got double X-bow islands in the back, right? So kind of weird. You know, I'd probably walk down it one lane or the other, but you're not going to hit the same sort of defense. It's not symmetrical that way. So he enters it at an angle, causes a few problems, but he still sees some good success with it. So we'll watch what happens here. But he's cutting it at these side angles, right where his witches are going to start getting some nice mortar fire. But that's going to keep the mortars off the rest of any wizards coming in, and his witches should be targeting those ones pretty quickly first. So once he does that, he's got his sides cut. You saw him throwing the wizards to cut the buildings. He jumps his golem in first, way before his heroes, and wizards or bowlers get there as well. Throws down the poison, and why I say it's caused some problems, because the witch's skellies set off the CC. You don't want the CC going that direction. You want it coming this direction. But you can watch, that's the fire down there from his other troops. He is working this base once again in a straight line, going through it, you know, keeping the troops basically at the same spot, you know, not expending rages to push his center troops in too fast. Or jumps, you know, and just being very careful, very calm, very collected, and rhythmic, kind of how he's moving the troops to the bases. He throws in both the jumps to enter the base and get over this first set of kind of walls. He's still got two sets to get his troops out of the base. And another problem, since it's not symmetrical, his skelly started cutting over here, and his witches thought it would be a good idea to kind of eat into the wall and go directly face to face with that X-bow. Tesla farm upgraded to Town Hall 10 level over on the side. But that is the side his golem walked, his heroes, and his witches are going to help take very good care for him. And if you wanted to answer the question, 2 witches versus an X-bow, the witches win, FYI. You need 2 healers, though. So everything's walking in order, getting through the base. Very rhythmic, very calming. You know, it's not a smash and push type of play. He's moving everything in order, doing it purposefully, and all his troops, once again, are meeting at the same exact spot. Witches there, heroes in the middle. I assume you probably want to be more in the middle, but it works out great, guys, and that's the key to success on this attack. So if you're not seeing success, maybe see what you're pushing in front. Are you jamming too much into splash defense? Are you letting your witches take too much point fire and not their skellies? Just figure out what the problem is. Practice, and it's, you know, this is one of the more easier attacks. You just got to kind of get it down, and it's very powerful, very meta right now. Great attack to learn if you haven't, so give it a try. Slap a witch. There you go. Press like and subscribe if you haven't. Ask me questions if you got them. Make sure you follow me on Twitter. That's at CastnBlastCOC, and I'll catch you guys next time.